Welcome to the President and CEO Focus on the Middle Market podcast series, where President and CEO founder Paul Stukel discusses middle market issues with business leaders from across the nation. Today, part one of Paul's discussion with Eric Hills, Chief Evangelist and Senior Vice President at pricing technology vendor Zilliant.
If you can give us a brief overview of Zilliant and your approach to pricing technology.
Zilliant helps our customers, primarily industrial companies, grow their top and their bottom line. And the way that we do that is to help them make better sales decisions, primarily pricing sales decisions, but also decisions, about who the sales reps should be calling on and what products that they should be selling. So really kind of from start to finish, all of the key commercial decisions that salespeople, sales managers, and marketing need to make, we help them make the best decision possible. We think of that really as optimizing the sales process. And as it relates specifically to pricing, we help them, quote or negotiate the best price vis-a-vis improving profitability, but not putting the business at risk.
So how do you do that? I mean, obviously you're a technology vendor and you're also an information vendor to a certain extent, or at least an analytics vendor. How does one do that? How does one provide that information to the middle market sales guy?
In industrial businesses, mid-market businesses, as well as larger companies, pricing is largely left to the discretion of salespeople. And the reason that it's left to the front line is because it's a very, very complex decision-making process. Lots of industrial companies, even mid-market, have grown their product portfolios to tens of thousands, in some cases hundreds of thousands of products. They sell into numerous markets, and so the average sales rep may be calling on 100 accounts across 20 different markets and trying to sell 100,000 products. Ultimately, that massive complexity makes it impossible for sales reps to know what the best price is for any given customer product combination, because there are literally hundreds of millions of combinations. So even if they've worked for the company for 20, 30 years, they don't know exactly what to charge in any given circumstance. There are just too many. So Zilliant takes the data that a company already has in their ERP or their order or quote management system. We run that data, order data, invoice data, customer and product data, through our algorithms, and ultimately we produce optimal price guidance. What we mean by that is we output a range of prices, let's say a start, target, and floor, for the salesperson for every set of circumstances they're likely to encounter when they're out quoting business. That could be quoting new business or existing business. It could be in the matrix pricing, if you will, that's already loaded in the quote tool. So in situations where they're not really negotiating. But ultimately, Zilliant is taking the data that they have and looking for what we call price response patterns. Where do some customers show a greater sensitivity to price? Where are some less sensitive? And use that to model or predict what's going to happen going forward when sales reps offer certain prices into certain markets and certain customers.
Now, that presumes a certain level of CRM data, I would think. I mean, yeah, there's order data which basically shows successes. I would think you'd also need, and we're talking strictly internal data at the moment, I would think that would also require knowledge of what didn't work. Am I reading that right?
Great question, Paul. Great insight. The reason that Zilliant has been so successful in helping companies optimize price is that we can do it. We can provide market-aligned price guidance with just the information that companies already have in hand. I mentioned, order or invoice data. Yes, they do ideally want to tell us about their customers and their products more so than just what's in the order system. But even if they don't have robust CRM profiles, it's surprising to them how much market data we can extract from the basic transactional information that they have. So in some respects, part of the magic of what we do is figuring out from where they've won, if you will, where they did get the order, did win the business, what the price points are to win in the future, but also to understand, what prices would cost them the business. But loss data, if I use that in contrast, oftentimes is tracked at a high level in companies where they've got quotes. They put quotes out through their sales force, and they didn't win the business. The challenge with trying to infer some sort of market price from loss data is that the quality of that data is very suspect. First of all, salespeople always want to say when they lose business that it was because of price, when in fact, they might have lost business for numerous other reasons, and it goes on from there. But there are lots of reasons why loss data is largely unreliable. But and so therefore, win data, invoices and orders is what we have to work with, and we can tell a company so much more than they know, so much more than they think we could glean just based on that.
Now, and this information is delivered how?
Here's how Zilliant works with our customers. It can be a small, medium, or large business. In any case, we'll typically take 2 years' worth of sales data and associated customer and product information. We'll work with the customer for usually 2 or 3 months to understand and make sure we fully understand what the data means in terms of how they sell and the prices that result from their transactions and what markets and so forth, market dynamics. And then the output from that engagement, as I said earlier, are price guidance. Well, specifically what we mean is output files that say, for this type of customer in this region, for this combination of products, this size of an order, here's what we would recommend you quote for the individual items or the overall project as a deal envelope, as a start, target, and floor. And that guidance in that sort of very granular specificity is loaded into our customers' sales systems, their quote tool, maybe their CRM tool or their ERP ordering tool. And so when a sales rep in the future, let's say tomorrow, goes to quote new business or requote an existing customer, they'll type in the customer and the products into their existing tool, and up pops the Zilliant guidance. So we don't really bring in a lot of new software to the business. We're essentially providing answers or inline guidance in the process and in the tools that the sales force is already using.
And I'm assuming that this is a relatively this is an iterative process, so that that's a constantly updated kind of thing, where presumably based on order information that's coming out of the ERP or what have you. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Pricing in industrial markets is more dynamic, is more volatile than ever for numerous reasons. There are material cost swings in terms of raw materials. There are ever-changing competitive dynamics. Obviously, we went through the recession and we're bouncing back, so there are macroeconomic factors. So prices are always moving in these industries. So the price guidance that we produce, in order to stay market-aligned, has to be updated on a very frequent basis. So our customers will, as I said, we'll take 2 years' worth of data. But once we put the system into production, we're updating that every month with new prices, new sales, if you will, and we're producing new price guidance, and that goes back into the ERP or the order management system. And the other thing that's changing, of course, if we think of all those factors I just listed as sort of outside factors, is the company's strategy. Companies often pick up new product lines, they enter new markets, they have to react intentionally to competitive moves. So the other reason that an optimization system is so important these days and so dynamic is that companies are using it to execute strategy, which is constantly in flux as well.
Visit PresidentandCEOMagazine.com/podcast to hear part 2 of this discussion. Thanks for listening.